Catwoman number 12, written by Judd Winnick, art by Adriana Mello. Last as you left off with Detective Alvarez and a bunch of sex workers being taken captive as Catwoman shows up late to the entire firefight. And this issue picks up immediately afterwards where Gwen tries calling Catwoman and she's like, I'm a little bit busy, Gwen. I'm going to call you back. Click. And she's like, oh, no, you did not. So at that point, Spark is making his way over to Catwoman saying like, hey, the cops are going to be there any second now. Like, that was a major firefight with a lot of casualties. You need to go. And she's like, hold on. I have an idea. She goes over to Detective Alvarez's car and sees that there's a phone inside that is set to a GPS tracker that is currently moving. So it's attached to Detective Alvarez. So he's like, all right, Spark, I need you to do something very important for me. And so he goes up on top of the GCPD building, bashes in the bat signal, draws in a cat logo, leaves a cell phone down on the ground, and then leaves. And at that point, Batman, of course, shows up, and he gets the cell phone, and he's like, what in the hell are you doing, Catwoman? So then we go over to the building where I think she calls herself Dollhouse. Dollhouse is, and they're unloading everybody, and Alvarez is like, you do understand that, like, you're going to get caught, right? There was, like, a massacre down there. You're not exactly stealthy. You are going to get caught. And Dollhouse is like, shut up. You this is why I like dolls. They don't talk back. You suck. And he justifies himself. He's like, oh, I create beauty. I do whatever. And I say himself. It's actually, I believe, a her. I'm honestly a little bit confused in that regard. But Catwoman then shows up. And they get into a fight. And the entire thing is basically Dollhouse explaining, hey, here's what I do. I am Dollhouse. My father was Dollmaker, who was in Detective Comics. And my real name is Matilda. So yes, it is a she. Additionally, Dollmaker is apparently the son of Toyman, which I don't remember being a thing, but apparently is a thing. So it's a whole family of people doing really messed up shit. And now Matilda is the most recent one. So they continue to get into a fight. Catwoman's running through all of like the doll displays. And apparently Dollhouse just doesn't care anymore because she's just firing willy-nilly throughout every single one of the displays. Until finally Catwoman manages to get the upper hand and almost knocks her out. However, she manages to fire a few knockout darts into Catwoman. At which point then Alvarez is like, stop what you're doing, you're under arrest. And he's like, oh my god, this is so stupid. So as she's about to bash in the head of Alvarez, we hear the vroom coming from outside a door, and Batman in his Batmobile busts in. And at that point, Matilda's like, all right, I can't deal with Batman, I'm out. And Dollhouse just leaves. And then during the firefight, this place is literally caught on fire. Alvarez and Batman get all of the people who were drugged but not yet turned into dolls out of the building. And he's like, well, Catwoman, I guess, is the one we should thank for this. Do you have any idea what's going on with her, Batman? Batman's like, I have no idea. She's messed up. So Catwoman apparently gets back to her place, hops in the tub, and is just like, okay, I did good today. I was a good person today. Is this really the type of person I am? Because that was really hard, and I don't feel that great about it. Also, should I really be having a teammate? Because, like, Spark is not okay with me being a good person either. This is all very complicated. So then we cut over to Spark, and like 2 issues ago, we had the reveal that he was working with the corrupt cops in some degree. So he walks into his apartment, or at least he walks somewhere. Apparently, Catwoman texted him, and he's met with a gun, and it's like, you're working with the corrupt cops, aren't you? And she's like, no, Cat, I'm not. It was all a misunderstanding. I'm actually working with you. It's totally cool. To which point, the gun steps out of the shadows, and it's actually Gwen. And Gwen shoots Spark dead and says, like, yeah, she would have believed you. That's the problem. So then she hops on the phone, calls up someone, and says, like, hey, thanks for the tip. I've done what needed to be done. And on the other end is Penguin saying, like, oh, no problem. Always happy to help a friend in need. But remember, I don't hand out favors lightly. Wah, wah, wah. So, yeah. Gwen is now in servitude, or at least owes the Penguin, and Spark is dead. He lasted for exactly one arc. R.I.P. Spark. I think I remember saying, like, he's not going to make it out of this for very long. Surprising, though, he didn't get to turn on Catwoman, so that's something. So, I think it's fine. I like the reveal that it is a direct link to Dollmaker because it is very similar of a character. I don't recall if that was a person who was in the Detective Comics arc, if there was a Matilda. Certainly didn't look like that, I'll tell you that much for sure. Overall, though, it was just a very fast-paced issue between the multiple fight scenes and getting out all the people. It just flew by in terms of, okay, well, now we're just kind of done with this arc. So, not bad, not great. Art-wise, it's good. And nothing to write home about, but also nothing awful. Like, each of the characters looked like the characters. So, yeah, no, it's just an average issue overall. I wish I had more to say about it. I'd say 6.5. It's okay. Not great, but, it's Catwoman. When has it ever needed to be anything else?